Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin reveals the historical inspiration behind the Targaryen civil war featured in House of the Dragon. Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin reveals the historical inspiration behind the Targaryen civil war featured in House of the Dragon. The upcoming HBO series acts as a prequel to the celebrated fantasy show which aired over 8 seasons between 2011 and 2019. While the original show focused on the events of Martin's iconic Song of Ice and Fire book series, which it eventually overtook, the new show instead tells the tale of fire and blood, Martin's prequel story set centuries before the events of God. Created by Martin and Ryan J. Condal, House of the Dragon will introduce a whole host of new characters in another epic struggle for the Iron Throne. While Game of Thrones focused on a number of Westeros' most powerful families, namely the Starks, Lannisters, Baratheons, Targaryens, Tyrells, and Martells, the prequel series depicts a more internal feud where the first fractures within the Targaryen dynasty are beginning to show in a fantastical civil war known as the Dance of the Dragons. Commencing production in the UK last year, the first season will begin during the reign of King Viserys I Targaryen, played by Paddy Considine. Now, during the House of the Dragon panel at San Diego Comic-Con, Martin has revealed some of the real historical events which inspired the story. Expressing the importance of finding real historical influences for his fantasy work, Martin said that the prequel's main source of reference was the Anarchy, an English civil war which took place during the 12th century. The author drew comparisons to King Henry I's decision to name his daughter Matilda heir to the throne, and the nobility's disregard of this in favor of her male cousin, Stephen. Set 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones, Martin's historical inspiration seemed to abide by a similar timeframe, having previously stated that the Wars of the Roses, which occurred in the 15th century, heavily influenced A Song of Ice and Fire. Already glimpsed in trailers, House of the Dragon seems set to revisit the theme of misogyny which became such a focal point in the original HBO series, as strong female characters such as Cersei, Arya, Sansa, and Daenerys were repeatedly overlooked by male relatives and the patriarchal system of Westeros. Focusing instead on the plight of Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen and the attempts to usurp her birthright, the prequel could draw up some interesting parallels to her would-be descendant and self-styled mother of dragons, Daenerys. While on the surface, the struggle of Rhaenyra may seem sympathetic, Game of Thrones fans may elect to employ more caution before backing any Targaryen claimant to the Iron Throne. Made a fan favorite early in the original show for her strength and self-declared ambition to break the wheel, Daenerys' fate in the Season 8 finale left many viewers with a sour taste in their mouths as she seemingly succumbed to the fabled Targaryen madness, burning King's Landing to the ground before being killed by her lover and nephew, Jon Snow. Still, regardless of whether fans readily back a new Targaryen heir, House of the Dragon certainly promises to deliver a promising lineup of complex, morally ambiguous characters for viewers to enjoy.